How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a review for Poison Ivy. If you're new to the channel, this is basically a show that I try to do monthly, where we not only review the issue, but we kind of talk all things Poison Ivy here. So if you're a Poison Ivy fan, you're in the right place, okay? And then I also like to apologize because I did not put out an issue review for 12 last month. And I like to say that, you know, I got busy or something, but sometimes, you know, I just rather do something else. I think YouTube for me, I want to still maintain it as a hobby. So usually if I get inspiration and stuff like that, then I'll jump on here as well. But in my defense, guys, I was only supposed to be here for 6 issues. Like, that was what I initially thought this series was going to be, but the show has been overachieving and, you know, coming through. So 13 issues, here we are, and now it's an ongoing series. So yeah, anyways, if you're new here, like I said, if you're new here and you're just wondering if the issue's good, the issue's good. This is also a good jump on point. If you have not been reading Poison Ivy, you can just jump on here without having to necessarily read the first 12 issues, but I still do recommend you pick that up. I know there's a hardcover volume 1 that collects 1 through 6. There's one with the Sweet Sozo Micah cover. I highly recommend that one. And also the series is going to be kind of taking a detour because we have the Night Terrors events that's going to be coming out pretty soon. That's going to be taking us through the end of the summer. So you kind of have time to catch up if you want to jump on to Poison Ivy now. I also want to talk about this cool article that G. Willow Wilson, the author of Poison Ivy, put out on her Instagram, where she was featured on a newspaper, Seattle newspaper. They were asking her about her world building and her using real life places and kind of establishing Poison Ivy within that world, which is kind of cool that, you know, they kind of took an interest in G. Willow Wilson's world building, which is going to come into play today when we talk about this issue, because she does a little bit more world building in Gotham City. So pretty excited to talk to you guys about that as well. So let's get in with the review. So here we have Poison Ivy number 13, and this is the Jessica Fong. She's been doing all the A covers, and she's pretty underrated. I think she's getting better and better. I really love these zombies that are just coming out of the swamp, right? You got a date night, but you got some zombies. And this is a little bit misleading because, you know, I was kind of expecting from this cover that we would just have a whole date night thing, you know what I mean? But it's not like that. This issue is a little bit more, it's more of a transitional issue. I don't want to say it's a filler issue, but it's kind of like you're taking a tour of Gotham City, and then there's it's a setup issue. That's what I'm going to say. It's a setup issue for what's going to come. G. Willow Wilson is kind of establishing little pieces here and there for more we can go. I will show you guys the Poison Ivy number 13. This is the variant cover by Kai Carpenter. This is the one I really liked. I love that skull right there. That looks awesome. She just looks villainous as hell right here. Villainous as hell. So yeah. Let's dig into this. Let's dig into this. So this is the first issue of the ongoing series. Like, from here on out, it's an ongoing series. So G. Willow Wilson can tell the stories as big as she wants, without having to worry about, you know, having to find a stopping point within a story arc or whatever. So Marcio Takada is the artist here, but he also has some homies. Marcio Takada brought some homies with him. He brought in Gillian March, Kelly Jones, A.L. Kaplan, all right, which is really awesome because we're going to be talking about that. That kind of gives you like a throwback to some other Poison Ivy stories. And as always, being written by G. Willow Wilson. Now, the first story it starts off with Poison Ivy waking up with Harley Quinn, and then she's like, I'm gonna go get coffees and then some bananas, which is like random as hell. Like, this is like a slice of life type of deal. And I'm just kind of like, all right, where's this going? But I think next we have the Gillian March art, which is awesome. Gillian March has some of the best interior art. Like, he makes everyone look like a freaking supermodel. Like, Look at those paneling there. Really love his take on Poison Ivy. Now, the cool thing why we have him here is because he also did the page that features Catwoman, right? And if you guys know, Gilliam March was part of that. What was it called? He was part of the Gotham City Siren solo series that we got maybe 15 years ago, and it's an excellent read. If you guys love the Poison Ivy Harley Quinn storyline, I suggest you check that out, because that run kind of really starts establishing that friendship between Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn, right? They're not yet like together, but you can start seeing a lot of their bonding there. And it also features Catwoman. So anyways, Catwoman shows up, talks to Poison Ivy, and tells her, hey, since you left, the bad people, they're after you. They know you're here, so watch your back. That's pretty much what we're doing. This is pretty much like Poison Ivy walking through the streets and just kind of going in through anything. If I was to describe this issue, it'd be like, when you play video games, like an RPG and stuff like that, and then there's like in between main quests, you're kind of just walking around the map and just talking to different characters, and then out of those characters you get like a little side quest. That's pretty much what this issue is. If I was to have one criticism though, is the art, the way it made it feel a little bit disjointed, just because the change of style. Like, we go from Gilliam March to Kelly Jones, which is two different styles. So I had to take a double take. I was like, whoa, is Poison Ivy dreaming? Is this part of like some kind of Lamia effect or anything? But no, it's one story, so just keep that in mind. It's just Poison Ivy walking through the street. Once we get the Kelly Jones story, she's still walking down the street, and she noticed that a Batman is stalking her during the middle of the day, which is kind of uncharacteristic for Batman. And here's where we start getting a little bit more cool throwbacks. She heads over to Robinson Park. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with the Robinson Park, it's a place in Gotham City, and it's relevant to Poison Ivy because during the No Man's Land series back in the late 90s, when there's an earthquake and then villains kind of took over Gotham and they kind of cut all the pieces up, Poison Ivy actually took over Robinson Park. Like, she kind of took that area over, and that kind of became her section, her area. So it's kind of a nice little throwback by Kelly Jones or G. Willow Wilson to this time. And the fact that we got Kelly Jones on it, who is mostly known for his Batman stuff during the 90s, I think that's a real cool callback. So this is kind of the cool stuff that I think longtime readers really appreciate, coming from writers and artists, when they kind of do a little wink wink, you know what I mean? Like, if you don't know Robinson Park, if you haven't read No Man's Land, which I haven't read the whole thing, I've only read the few issues with Poison Ivy in it, but it's not a big deal. It really isn't. You can do without it. But for the OGs that kind of know this is cool, man. This is awesome. And it's also really cool to start seeing like Kelly Jones do his take on the modern Poison Ivy armor. I think that's really cool. So basically, she has a talk with Batman. They kind of have like a little scuffle and everything. And I'm just, bro, I'm here for the art, baby. This is a showcase issue. This is pretty much what we're doing here. We're showcasing different characters. So anyways, Batman kind of gives her off with a warning. And then Poison Ivy's like, you know what? Gotham City's pretty hot, so I'm going to have to go somewhere else. Like, we're gonna have to go set up shop somewhere else, and that's where we go to Slaughter Swamp, baby. Slaughter Swamp is also one of those like Gotham City places that we all kind of are familiar with. It's a setting that's been there since, like, I think the Golden Age was when it first had this Slaughter Swamp, and it's just known for its like paranormal activity. I think it's the birthplace of Solomon Grundy and everything. So she ends up going to Slaughter Swamp, scopes it out. She's like, I'm going to try to set up shop here. But she runs into someone who's already living there. And it's our boy, Killer Croc, They pretty much have an interchange, and they're saying like, hey, what are you doing out here? And he's like, I've been pushed out of the sewers because there's like some kind of gentrification going on downtown. They're building new skyscrapers or whatever. So Poison Ivy kind of takes that, they make a deal. They're like, hey, if I can get those people to stop building or the gentrification to stop, or can you go back to the sewers and then can I have the swamp? And that's pretty much the deal that they make. So very interesting. Like the story, it's a good setup. We have her back to the Master Takata, and we have her in a little construction outfit, right? And she kind of sneaks in and she's like, yeah, I'm part of the landscaping crew, which I'm pretty sure 100% she could pull it off. I bet you Poison Ivy would be the world's best landscaping person. Bar none. There's nobody else. Maybe Swamp Thing. She sneaks in and she's kind of doing like a little bit of recon. And that's where we end up with, she runs into a body. And check that out. It's got a little flower growing out of his face. I don't know if it's like fungus or something, man. I don't know. And then it says to be continued. And then it says be Night Terrors. So I don't know if this is actually leading into the Night Terrors or if Night Terrors is going to be something completely different. Again, this is a very cool issue. Just kind of a setup issue. No major plot points. But you can see there's a little bit of pieces being set on the board for Poison Ivy. So my expectations going forward for Poison Ivy is I want to see Poison Ivy do some cool shit, man. I want to see her some cool shit. I love her eco-terrorism stuff. I like her to be in Gotham City, but I don't really want her to spend too much time in Gotham City. Some of my favorite stories are like where she actually leaves Gotham City to be with, you know, the wildlife. I mean, Poison Ivy would love being in the Amazon. For example, that Batman Poison Ivy one shot. I think that was like the first beginning where we started seeing Poison Ivy kind of turn into that anti-hero where she kind of recluses herself to like a island just to be by herself and her plants, and then some corporal idiots show up and start messing things up. So I want to see a little bit of that. Like I want to see her kind of go to, you know, fight for like, go to like deforestation places, go to Africa, you know, go all over the world. I love to take a tour of Poison Ivy. I would also like to see like some of the things that she like that tension with Harley Quinn. I think to me Poison Ivy has always been if I could, independent and a very taciturn person, somebody who kind of isolates herself. So I kind of want to see her kind of being split between her love for the Green and her love for Harley Quinn. I think that would make for an interesting dynamic. But then again, you know, the story's good. That's just me and some of the expectations that I have for it. But you know, that's just me. Something that I think would be cool. But otherwise, I'm pretty excited to see what's going on with this story. So, all right, so let's do the cover previews for what's coming out ahead. We're going to be looking at Night Terrors. I believe most of the covers for both issues should be out. They don't have any covers out for Poison Ivy 14, so because I don't think that comes out till probably September. So we're going to be taking a look at those, and I'm going to tell you guys what I think. I'm going to tell you guys there's some cool ones, but in my opinion, I love the A cover by Jessica Fong. I think that thing's sick. That thing is sick. I think that's Jessica Fong's best cover. That thing is so sick, man. Let's see, the B cover, I'm not really too crazy about that. It looks a little bit too anime to me. It's not really my taste. I'm sure somebody out there will like it. I think the Jamie McKelvey cover C, I think that looks kind of dope, dude. Like, that's kind of gives you like a little bit of WandaVision vibes there for a little second. And then there's the Poison Ivy, the cover D by Dustin Nguyen, the Midnight cardstock. So there's going to be a lot of these coming out that if you're interested in these, I know some people might collect all of these, all the red, white, and black ones. And they might all be by Dustin Nguyen. I'm not 100% sure, but you know, that is what it is. I'm personally not going to pick it up. I'm not going to pick them up. I might pick one up or not, or if I find it's cool or nothing or something. But and then there's Night Terrors. Then there's The Incentive by Nimit Malavia. So that's kind of creepy, bro. Seriously, that's like some WandaVision shit right there, like some creepy 1950s. You know, there's something wrong going on in this town. And then there's the Jessica Dalva 1 in 50 incentive with the fungus just growing up her dress. Again, with the 1950s theme. So that might be tying into the story. Like maybe it's Poison Ivy. Is that her nightmare? That she's going to be stuck in a 1950s housewife scenario? That'd be interesting. But check this out, guys. If we're getting extra issue, I want to say issue. I don't know. It's called Poison Ivy Uncovered #1. So this is a one shot. Supposedly we have like some artists that are gonna be like on this thing. Like supposedly, I think this is supposed to be like a cover gallery or whatever. Like it's a comic book size, and it's supposed to have like all the variant cover galleries in there as well. But it also has like a writer, Jessica Burbe, and like other artists in there, like Joshua Middleton and stuff like that. So I don't know if there's gonna be a story, if it's just gonna be like an article or something like that. I don't know. But yo, check out this Dan Mora, bro. This Dan Mora A cover looks chef's kiss, bro. I love this. Check this out. She's got the her battle armor. You know, she's got the growing flower out her hand. I love the yellow background and her hand on her hip. Dude, she looks super confident. I love this one. I really love this one. It's just a great cover. Then there's the cover B by Christian Ward. Man, she looks mad as hell right there. Pretty much a face-up. Love the red background. And then we have this is supposed to be the main cover, I suppose. I'm not sure. It's not really saying who the artist is. It's not really saying who the artist is here, guys. But anyways, there's a 1 in 20. Then there's another one that's a cover D, which is a foil variant. Again, this is really anime. If you're like into that style, then that's probably what you're gonna get. And then there's a cover E 1 in 25, which looks pretty cool, And then there's a 1 in 50 Dan Mora variant, which if you know we follow trends, it's probably just gonna be like a foil. Now I would pre-order it if I knew like. If I knew that it wasn't going to be all foil and maybe just the background was going to be foil, then I would consider it. But here's the thing, like they don't really tell us, like it hasn't even been released yet, but like DC has started doing that where they don't make the entire cover foil. They only make a little bit of it foil. So I think that's kind of interesting. So I wish they would kind of say it though, like, hey, are we going to do the whole thing foil or just like the background or certain elements are going to be foil? Because it really, even when they list it, it's really hard to tell. So those are the covers that we're going to be going into the future. Before we get out of here, you guys let me know which ones do you like the best. I'm gonna do a little bit show and tell, show you guys a little bit of stuff that I picked up. I went to Motor City Comic Con and I picked this up. You guys can see it on my Motor City Comic Con video that I put. So yeah, this is by Jeff Deckel. He signed it, so very cool. And I also picked up a nice, awesome piece of original art by Master Takada. It's up on my wall. I'm not going to mount it, but I'll put a picture right there. And this is fantastic. I freaking loved it. I couldn't believe that this page right here was still available. Like, pretty much most of the issue was sold out. And this was issue 9, which was that fantastic issue of the reunion between Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn. And I can't believe that this one, like, you guys, this one's still on the table. I'm like, all right, sweet. Mine, you know, that's me all day. All right, so pick that up. Very fortunate to be able to do it. Very happy with it. And that's it for this week's show. I think I pretty much covered everything. So I will be doing reviews for Night Terrors, or at least that's the plan. If you guys know, if there's one thing consistent about this channel, is that it's inconsistent. So I'll try to do my best, man. Try to stay motivated and try to stay on this. So all right, so you guys let me know what you guys think about this issue. Any thoughts you have on Poison Ivy or whatever. Also, what do you guys want to see out of this show? If you've been keeping up with this show, any suggestions you have, I'm all ears. You guys let me know what it is that you guys want. And what am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? All that, or what could I do better? You know, stuff like that. Anyways, thank you guys. If you made it this far, thank you, man. You're the fucking best. And I'll see you guys on the next one. All right. Peace.